Hey everyone, welcome back for episode 3. Today we are going to be continuing the expansion of our suburb down south here a bit along the coast. But before we get into any of that, I just have a quick update from the last episode. First thing is the installation of the short radio mast here in the center of town. I noticed that when I was doing all my editing of the last episode that after installing all of the shelters, I actually didn't put in a radio mast, which is actually needed to inform our citizens to evacuate when there is a disaster, so I wanted to get one of those in right away. The next thing was I completed the pedestrian pathway network in this new section down here. I did a time lapse in the last episode, so I didn't want to do another one just showing the exact same thing that I'd already done, so I just thought I'd do it off camera. As you can see, it is sort of popular. There are some people walking down the pathways here. Of course, it gets more busy as you get closer to the commercial district here. And another thing was I moved the cemetery and put in the pathway bridge across the highway to the industrial area for people to get to work. And you can see there's already people starting to use it. And the last thing was I adjusted the areas of my district, just kind of tidied up the painted areas that I had made last episode. I think that looks much nicer this way. And I think that covers about everything, so I think we should get started on stuff for today. Before we get started on the expansion of our suburb, I want to extend the avenue here a little bit. First thing I want to do is extend it towards the coast. I'm going to pause that actually here now a second. Looks like I just destroyed some of the power lines. And then what I want to do is have the avenue go along the coast sort of like this. So I'm actually going to extend another one of these roads just to use as a guideline. Have this come down here about there, and then I'm going to use an avenue to go all the way along. Okay, cool. I think that looks good, except for this corner here. That does not look good at all, so I'm going to actually extend the avenue just a little bit past that so that I can get an intersection put in there and kind of fix that for now. I'm going to reattach some power here. Just come across. Hook up there. And what I also want to do is move our water drain pipe down a bit further to the end. Try and get rid of the pollution accumulating along where I'm going to be having this road. So I'm going to move that to the very edge of my tile here. Of course, I got to make sure I hook all that back up before I resume the game. And I'm going to take this opportunity also to adjust the water pipes that are in the road already. Straight down the middle. Up. Reconnect the power. Okay, that should be okay for everything. Looks like it's all hooked up still. Okay. So, now that the avenue is done along the coast, actually I don't really like quite how this turned out along the side here. I will have to do a little bit of adjusting with the terraforming tool, but maybe not right now. I'm going to use this avenue as a guideline to try and follow the same sort of pattern that I have in the suburb here on the top. I want to kind of extend this little section down here a bit. Can't extend this section here. I need to make room for the highway to come back up above ground. So we'll stick with this little area here. And I'm going to keep the same distance that I have away from the avenue as I've done over here previously in the other sections. It looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of terraforming here. I want to keep the same distance between these roads here, down here. So I'm going to be going onto this hill. Not too much terraforming though, that needs to be done. So just do that real quick. Looks like I'm full of soil, so I'll have to just drop that off on the mountain here. Okay. And smooth this area out a little bit. I have to watch my money. It's quite expensive to do terraforming. Okay. Let's put in some roads and see if that was enough. Let's do a little bit more adjusting here on the edge. Oh, full of soil again. Let's drop more off here. $33,000 left. That's pretty good. Just smooth this out. Too much soil. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna turn it to 3 speed and start generating a little bit more money. Hopefully earn back some of that cash before we continue too much. These roads for now, they were just guides. And then I'm going to continue this pattern down here. Now, for where this section here curves, when the two suburbs meet, it's not going to look very nice if I try and connect something there like that. I think that overcrowds it a bit too much. So I'm going to have this as a bit of more of an open section. And what I want to do is make these curves a little bit smoother. So I'm going to actually just delete these 2 segments right here and use the curve road tool to connect them. That is not the curve road tool. Back and actually click the curve road tool this time. Go like this, connect that. I think that looks a lot nicer than having a corner here like this. So for this section here, if you see when I put the bulldozer over these sections, it's going to delete quite a large section of the road. So what I can do is use the dirt road and just have a little segment come off of each side. What that will do is that will allow me to just delete a small section of the road, and then I can use the curve road tool again to meet it up and curve it along. I think that looks much nicer than what we had there before. As for connecting to the avenue, I want to have 2 connections, just one here at the end. Then I have the avenue connect right back up to it. And then one, I think about here would be nice. Maybe another one right here. I think that will suit it well. Having a little bit of trouble here in our industrial area. I don't know if you remember from the last episode. We were having trouble with not enough educated workers. I'm gonna just quickly de-zone these little sections again. I have absolutely no demand for industrial, so there's no point in leaving those painted for now until we get more demand. Some of these buildings are gonna, to continue on about the need for an educated worker, some of these buildings are gonna periodically become abandoned. I think it's the tier 3 buildings that require lots of highly educated workers. So we're not quite there yet. I don't think we can get a university. So once we do that, we'll be able to get some more educated people. But until then, we'll just have to let our factories get abandoned, unfortunately. But that's the way it is. I'm going to continue the water here. Get ready for the new buildings to go in. Good. Now I also want to extend our highway, our two-lane road actually at this point. It will be a highway eventually. Just along here a little bit. I know this one's going the wrong way. I'm just going to upgrade it here in a second. Then I want to actually bring that above ground. Actually, I want to do a little bit further. Then come above ground. Maybe that was a little bit too far. I want to put something, use these blocks here to put another building. So, actually I think that'll be okay. If it's not, I can always adjust it later. Make sure that's going the right way. And then I'm going to have it actually cross over onto this tile over here. So, I wanted to put the building I was talking about putting right here, be a medical clinic. I have the police and fire just up top here, so I'll get a medical clinic down on the other side, make sure everything's covered. And I think our demand for residential is actually quite high right now, so I might as well start zoning in these areas here at the far end. No, actually I'll start over here. There's no electricity at the far end right now if I start over there. So I might as well start here. As you can see, all the buildings are going in quite fast since we have such a high demand. No water. I did the water over here, but I forgot these guys over here. Just continue this down here. Another one across here. Last little square is covered. Okay, I think that should do everything. We're looking good for electricity and water. We're in the green for everything. Okay, cool. Just gonna continue along with zoning. Actually, I'm going to put, I don't think I'm gonna put houses here. I don't want to leave a big empty space in the middle. That'd be a good area for a park. So I'm gonna put one of these big park with trees parks in here. Have it come off of, I think this side over here look better. And we can also use that to make sure we transfer our power to the next little block. And we're gonna keep zoning. Another thing I can do is actually connect some pathways to this park. Make sure it's connected to the other side. If I turn off the snap function, I can try and get it as close as I can to this corner. Pop it in and it'll form a little bit of pavement that'll connect right to this corner rather than snapping it to somewhere else. I think that looks pretty good the way it is. I'm going to come off to this corner here where the crosswalks are so that people have access to the park. Cool. Actually, I'm going to come off every corner. I think that'll connect it quite nicely. Right here. No, I can't do that. That's okay. There's an entrance just to the left here. I think that'll... Maybe I can do it right here. I'm not going to bother putting one across here on this corner because there's no crosswalk to get to here. So they'd have to actually walk past these other entrances to get to the entrance here in the middle. So there's no point in putting one there. Eventually I will decorate it with a little bit more trees and kind of fill it in, but I think for now that looks nice. One of the things I do need to do is sort of plan out where I want my road on the other side of the tile here to go, which actually what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to purchase this next tile so that I can get a good idea of what I want to do. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to, I'm going to take a second and sort of plan out what I want to do, and I will meet you here in a second. Alright, welcome back everyone. This is what I have come up with for our pathway to the next tile. I apologize for doing it off camera, but I'm nowhere near an expert yet at this game. I don't know if I ever will be, but the process that I went through to try and get this all figured out was slow and painful, so I didn't think you'd want to watch that, but I'll explain to you a little bit what I've done, at least as best that I can. So I wanted to have the highway connect onto this tile and then run across the tile and eventually to the highway over here. But I also wanted to make sure I had enough space on the right of the highway before the border of the tile to fit in another little suburb. So I used a little bit of road here so I could sort of plan out just roughly what I wanted to do. Make sure I had enough distance between the suburb roads and where I will eventually have the highway. And from there, just make a bridge and connect everything by smooth the curve as I could. I also had to adjust the avenue, just have a little tunnel to allow the highway to go across here. I think it turned out quite nicely. As you can see, I actually had to use the highway road for the bridge and on either side. The reason for that was if I'd used just a plain road, it did not have any of the columns or cables here, and I think it looks much better with the actual highway and a decent looking bridge. So I think that turned out quite nicely. Another thing I did just real quick was the pedestrian pathway network here. I just did that before I put in the houses, and that way when I need to do some more residential housing, I can just paint it in real quick, and you don't have to sit there and watch me try and figure out the squares that I want to do. So I think that'll be a little bit easier for everybody to watch. And yeah, what I also want to do now that I've bought this second tile is actually extend our avenue up along the coast a little bit further. And from here, I can just fill out this little triangle with the suburb up top here, just do a little bit of an expansion. I'm going to do my best to follow this pattern again as best as I could, but I'm going to be limited by the avenue here, so I can't really continue further down here too much more. So we'll go up top, actually have this connect directly to the avenue. I'm going to flip this block and do one on its side, just across here like that. I think that will fill out nicely and maybe actually connect the avenue right here as well. I don't want to connect every suburb road to the avenue. If I do that, I'm going to run into traffic problems in the future. I know that for sure. So if I put another one right here, there are 5 intersections right here, very close proximity. So I want to try and avoid having too many intersections in close proximity. So I will do my best to only have an intersection every once in a while. We'll see how that goes. But it looks like our terrain here is a little bit messed up with the avenue, so I'll just flatten that out a little bit. That looks much better. Okay, I'm gonna fill in the water. Do it now, then I won't have to realize I forgot about it later. Fill this in. Okay, actually, I just noticed our water is on the verge of being in the yellow. I think our budget here now is at 100%. I don't know if you remember the very first episode I mentioned that we have a fire in our suburb here. I don't know if you remember in the very first episode that I mentioned that we were going to be nowhere near needing the capacity of the water intake and outlet at the beginning of our city. It's just producing way too much for the population that we would have had. So now, as you can see, we're at a population of almost 5,000 and just getting onto our second water pump and outtake. So it's a very smart decision to lower your budget as much as you can at the very beginning. But I think it's time we put in a second station here. Get another outlet on the other side. Connect everything. I think that will be good. Take a second for this sewage treatment plant to come online. And then what I can actually do, since I still don't really have a ton of money, I can probably reduce my budget for this again. I'm going to go only to 80 this time. We should be still in the green. I know it's not really saving much each week, but I think every little bit counts. Yeah, I think it's turning out pretty good. I think we can continue with our zoning. Looks like we're going to need to zone some more industrial over here too. We can just zone in the sections that I demolished and de-zoned the areas. And while I'm here, I'm actually also going to check out our landfill. Our second landfill is already getting pretty full, so I'd like to actually invest in some recycling depots if I can. The good thing about recycling centers is that they actually provide raw materials for our industrial area. So I'd like to eventually stick with recycling centers purely and have no landfills, but they're quite a bit more expensive than landfills, and I don't think they process quite as much garbage per week as landfills do, but that's okay. It just means we'll have to put in more of these than we would landfills, but I think that will benefit us in the long run. And actually, now that we have recycling centers, I can empty out this first landfill and fill up the garbage reserves of these ones, and then have this first landfill available to us when the second one fills up here in not too much longer. I want to also continue doing commercial. Now we already have a fairly decent sized commercial district right here. You can see how much traffic it's already. Oh, there we go. New milestone for us. A busy town, 5,000 population. And let's see what we got here. Filter industrial waste. Sounds like it'll be a good one. Also, lots more options for our highways and roads. New buildings. Another power plant. I think it produces way more power than the coal power plant, so that's good. Road maintenance. Tsunami. We're gonna have to get some of those in there, definitely. The weather radar. Fire helicopter depot. Fire helicopter depot is gonna be nice. Once I start decorating, I'm gonna put some trees around the city. We definitely need a fire helicopter depot to help battle any sort of forest fires that do come up, because the fire trucks actually don't put that type of fire out, unfortunately. So yeah, cool. Before we get going any further, let me just put in the weather warning station. I'm not quite sure where it should go. I don't really have any sort of area that's kind of themed for that, so I'll just stick it kind of right here, I guess. Once I get an airport, I think putting the weather station at the airport would make more sense. So we'll stick that over there eventually, but for now, that'll do. And tsunami warnings, I guess they can, I'm not really, oh, I guess there is a coastline right over there. So I should probably put one, I don't know how effective they will be on the rivers here, but I guess it's better than nothing. They're pretty cheap. $4,000, $48 a week, so I think I can afford to put 2 of those in. I'm sorry, as I was saying, the commercial district here is doing quite nicely in between the 2 neighborhoods that we have. I'd like to put a little bit more just off to the side here a little bit though. I don't want to have too many buildings in commercial buildings in a small area, or else we're going to get lots of traffic due to people getting shipments and sending goods out. So we will just put a little strip just on the other side here, and then eventually I will put another little commercial district down here for the residents that live kind of in this lower area. So I'm gonna zone some more residential. Once I get the power going far enough down to this area, then I will zone some more commercial down there. While we wait for some of these buildings to go in, I'm going to start putting in some more parks. We don't really have great coverage right now, so I think it's about time we put some more parks in for our citizens. What is this one? Large playground. I think that'll fit quite well right there. Okay. Maybe something right here in the corner. Small park. Now this large park with trees, it doesn't seem to be really doing that well for considering how big it is. Even the houses right across the street don't even have, you know, that high of leisure, so that's kind of weird. I'm not sure what's up with that. I guess that just means we need more parks, and that's okay. Put some plazas down here, just in anticipation of the commercial area down here. I want to kind of match the same sort of thing that I did across in the other commercial district over here. Just having the parks with plazas, or pardon me, plazas with picnic tables. Over here, I think that will do nicely for everybody. It should help everybody out with their leisure, their happiness. Yeah, see, I mean, there's a basketball court right here, but this house right on the corner, it's close to it. It's not as happy as I thought it would be. I guess maybe certain citizens only like certain types of parks. I'm not sure. That'd be my guess, though. I guess. I guess. Okay. Put another park in here. Let's try something different. What else do we have? Ooh, a dog park. Keep our 4-legged friends happy. Stick a dog park in there. And let's put another dog park up top here. Maybe that's what these people need. Maybe one right here on the corner. Yes, everybody seems to like the dog parks. Okay, our new commercial district here is coming in pretty good. Looks like we have lots of people walking. Have to travel quite a distance. Well, not really quite, but a decent distance to kind of come around that corner. So what I'll do is I will put another pedestrian path, I think. Just connecting these straight across here. If I turn off the grid, I can have a pathway kind of in line with the crosswalk right to the corner over here. I think it'll be nice. And I think we should put another pathway connecting here. A lot of people, looks like they're coming all the way down here and across. So if we put another sidewalk, I think right here. People can maybe use that instead of going all the way around. Okay, demand for residential still about halfway, so we should put some more in here, I think. Commercial's about halfway as well, so I think I'll put
Meteorologists are issuing a thunderstorm warning for the coming days. Citizens are advised to stay indoors.
Severity of 5.1. I don't know how high that is. I'm actually going to pause this real quick because I do not have any evacuation shelters for my new suburbs down here. So, how much do these cost again? 24,000. Looks like I can put in 2. I'll put in one right here and one right here. Okay, does this tell me actually where the severe areas are? Looks like everywhere. These hills look like they're the highest, so it's probably where the most severe thunderstorms are going to be. Let me just do an evacuation route real quick. Okay, I think that'll have to do for now. Actually, I just thought that it had been quite a while since it rained, and I double checked my settings, and I had my dynamic weather turned off while I was planning out the section of road, or maybe even earlier than that, so I apologize for that. I've turned it back on, but it doesn't seem to have affected the chance of getting a thunderstorm. So even on a nice, looks like cloudless day, we are getting thunderstorms, and that's okay. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna continue the game, have our citizens actually evacuate, and see what the thunderstorm looks like. I think I can actually also view coverage of people being evacuated. Okay, everything seems to be going pretty smoothly, actually. All of our buses are getting jammed up in traffic, but that's okay. They're getting there eventually. Okay. Ooh, I'm losing a lot of money though. Guess nobody's working and paying taxes. Turn this up to 3 speed. Looks like I'm going to go into a deficit. That's okay, as long as everybody's safe, I think that's alright. Oh, here comes the rain. There's the thunder.
A thunderstorm is battering the city. Stay indoors until the storm has passed.
It's actually really cool. It seems to be wreaking some havoc on our city though. Changing the speed a little bit. Hopefully the storm will pass over quickly. We are going into a bit of a deficit. It's not too bad right now. Hopefully the storm will end soon. 3 speed. Hopefully our firemen are still out there and the fires that are going throughout the city. Lots of destroyed electrical power lines here. I think the storm has passed. Oh wow, we got a forest fire on the hill here too. I'm going to pause it for a second. Send everybody home. It looks like though I'm still losing money in a deficit, so I can't repair anything right now. I'm going to take out a quick loan. Hopefully that'll be enough. 60,000. That'll put us in the green. And then I can repair all of these broken electrical lines here, hopefully. Guess I have to destroy them and replace them. Thought I could just repair them, but it's not. Get rid of these old ones. And keep the game paused while I figure all this out. See where our electrical connections are missing. And yeah, here's the main one here that's going from our industrial area where the power plants are to basically everywhere else. So I'm going to get a new set of lines in here. How are we going to connect this? I think we should just go straight across here. Destroy all these old ones. I think everything is connected. Looks like this is now connected with the commercial district here, so I can actually get rid of these old ones. I'm going to get rid of these ones here too, and connect up our sewage outlets to our grid. Just come around here. Okay, I think that should cover everything. There we go. Looks like everything's getting fixed. The water should come along next after that. Okay, let's see. We have a report, disaster report. No casualties, awesome. Buildings on fire 12, that's not bad. Trees on fire 355. Just slow this down. Looks like a lot of them are on the hill here, off to the side, outside of city limits, so that's pretty good. Now I don't actually have a fire helicopter depot right now, so hopefully what's left of this little forest fire here won't travel too far and hit our city. But it's looking pretty good. We are actually making quite a bit of money now. Demand for everything is still around halfway, so we'll just keep filling the area in. I'm going to do the commercial area down here too. Do another set of stores just right beside here. I noticed in this area over here, a lot of pedestrians going from the residential area to the commercial district along this main road here. So I feel like the businesses that are further away are getting less traffic than the ones that are right here at the intersection. So over this area here, I'm going to keep my commercial districts a little bit smaller, but have 2 of them right beside where this road is going to the residential district. I think that'll benefit everybody a little bit more. And I'm going to put in some parks just like beside it. Where am I going here? Dry plaza with trees. There, I think that'll look nice. Just fill in everything here. Once these buildings come in, I'm going to make these power lines a little bit nicer, just go around the edge instead of right through the neighborhood, but for now that will work. And I think eventually there's something I can put in for, here we go, lightning rods, population of 7,500. Once I start getting some taller buildings, can stick that in there, and then hopefully our power lines will be saved next time we get an electrical storm like that. Looks like the forest fire up top here is burnt out. Won't be any risk to our city, so that's good. Just continue filling in the residential area. I don't have my pedestrian pathways here, so I'm gonna have to just paint my little squares like I've been doing. So I think with that, actually, I'm going to leave this episode. I'm going to continue filling in just this last little area offline. Something I've done quite a bit already before. I'm not sure you guys want to watch me doing that, so you weren't going to miss that much. But thank you again for sticking around and watching the episode. Don't forget to leave a like, dislike, or comment. Let me know how I'm doing. And if you'd like to follow the series, don't forget to subscribe, and I will have an episode hopefully by next week. And thank you.